Hello everybody and welcome to the third mission in my Halo 4 Legendary Walkthrough Guide. This is Forerunner, and we're going to get right on into this mission. And I just want to quickly give a disclaimer. This video will feature a lot of speedrunning techniques, but as usual, I do not feature any speedrunning techniques that I don't think anybody can pull off. I really do believe that anybody can pull this off. I'll see you guys after this cutscene for more.
Where's Infinity?
This is Requiem's core, all right. But Infinity is definitely not here. That satellite in the center is amplifying the ship's broadcasts like a relay.
Maybe we can use it to respond.
Perhaps. Those beams coming off it are creating the interference we've been experiencing. We'd have to take them out to contact Infinity.
Can you get us there?
Opening a gate to the first beam pylon. Pull me, and let's go.
Alright guys, we have a lot to get through and not a lot of time to do it, so let's get right on into it. We're going to go through the portal that Cortana opened for us here on the left side, and then we're going to run up to our first encounter with the Promethean crawlers, and then after that we're going to do a cool series of skip jumps that will allow us to skip the first encounter with the Promethean Knights, the Promethean Watchers, and basically gets us to the first beam pylon with relative ease. And then we're going to be using a series of speedrunning techniques to make sure that we don't have to deal with any more enemies than we need to turn off the first beam pylon. So let's get right on into it by resuming where we're picking up on, which is going to be taking out the remaining crawlers here in this little area. Take out the last crawler. Once we do that, we're going to jump on the objective here. Then we're going to jump up onto this little platform, then jump up onto the that thing, and then jump up out of the map, and that will allow us to basically get out of the map. And then we're going to get up to this point, run and jump, maintaining our momentum to jump across the chasm onto this rock here. Then you're going to basically stand at the very back edge of the of that rock that we were standing on, run and jump. That way we can clear the gap with relative ease. And then just going to follow my pathing exactly how I am. That way you can stay inside of the map, basically not stay inside of the map, but basically stay on the geometry that we can touch without basically killing us. And then jump up onto this S-curve. You're going to stay in the middle of this S-curve. And then once we load into the map, we're going to jump on through the small little gap that we can fit through. And then boom, we are back into the map. That will allow us to continue the mission. And that is the first skip that will take us to the first beam pylon. Now again, that was a lot of info in a very short amount of time. So I do promise that I will go into that in depth in a later video. But for now, I just want to make sure that you guys can pull off Forerunner in this video. But again, I do promise that that will be a separate video for another time. We will be covering both of the skips that I pull off in this video. Now, before we move on, we will want to take a little detour to go pick up this light rifle here. Going to trade out our assault rifle for the light rifle. And then once we go through this door, we're going to be looking for a knight giving birth to a watcher. It's very beautiful. But we are going to kill its little child. We will kill this watcher here on the right side, and then we will take out the knight before we move on. You will want to take out the knight before you get out of these doors here, because it is a very safe point for you, and it also prevents you from dealing with the crawlers that are below, because sometimes you will get to a point where you are dealing with the crawlers that are shooting at you, and in this case, it will just be the knight shooting at you, which is really, really nice. Now, we got one more crawler to deal with. Once we take them out, there is going to be a lot of light rifle in this area. That knight that we did just kill does carry a light rifle, so we will be using that. Using our pistol to mop up the final few crawlers here on the right side. Going to try to take out this last crawler, but unfortunately I ran out of ammo. But that is good for us, because before we move on anyway, we want to pick up a scatter shot for when we deal with more knights later on, that we simply just have to get up close and personal with. Now, after taking out those crawlers that are on the right side, you're going to be looking for the second orb here on the right side, using a frag grenade to destroy that one, and then you're going to mop up the final few crawlers here on before you move up this ramp here. Now, once you move up this ramp, you will always want to make sure that you have a frag grenade at this point. If you do not, then I would recommend restarting the mission. But once you toss that frag grenade exactly how I threw it, you will have destroyed the third orb, which will allow you to go up this spire to turn off the first beam array. Now, you will want to do it exactly how I did it, because if you stay on the ground level, I'm pretty sure that many players have already done, and you just kind of take them all out in succession, you will have to deal with a ton of knights on your way up through the spire. It's just easier to do it as you go up the spire rather than having to deal with those enemies as you try to progress to the first beam pylon. So make sure that you are aware of the enemies that you are dealing with, making sure that you kind of like take it to your advantage of how they kind of like load in. But once we get up this elevator, I do want to congratulate you. You are kind of out, in my opinion, you're halfway through the mission. You've gone, like, you hit the first beam array. You're at this point, to me, about 40 to 50% way through the mission. So now at this point, we're just going to be dealing with the hardest part of the mission, in my opinion, which is the second half of the mission, which is basically just going to be getting to the second beam tower, and then at that point it's really easy. Alright, now we go through that portal. We're going to be looking for the portal that spawns here on the right hand side, looking for that Covenant, those Covenant super carriers here that you can see in the skybox. But once you go through this portal, we're going to be looking for this weapon crate here on the right side, which will allow us to get maximum light rifle ammo and scattershot ammo. If you don't have it already, I recommend you have that before you move on. And then once you have it, you're going to jump on through this little opening, and then you're going to stick on the higher ground. You're going to want to stick on the higher ground because we do not want to be cut in a position where we're going to be basically be dealing with a bunch of hostile fire, which is why we stick on the higher ground, because this will allow us to do a basically kind of go around the enemies that are currently aggroed on that elite right there. Now, speaking of an elite, he just got impaled by this knight. We're going to use our scatter shot to take out that knight, and then we're going to be using our light rifle to take out the 3 watchers that spawned on in. Now, one of the watchers that you want to look out for is the one that spawned in that turret. Make sure you take him out first. But if in any case you kind of have no choice but to take out the other ones, then make sure that you take out that turret before you move on. Now, we are going to be using one of these ghosts that the knights take out here on the right side. Kind of ignore the knight that just kind of killed those 2 elites. Take a ghost, and then basically we're just going to gun it to the second beam tower. So hug the left hand side, going to get that nice little double kill splatter on those 2 elites. Going to continuously boost our way over, kind of ignoring everything that we can, especially these enemies here. Not like they're like threatening, but like they're worth nothing, so why not? Making sure that we have enough boost to basically get up to the door here. And then once we get up to the door, we're going to be pre-firing at the door, just like you see me doing right now, because this elite here usually takes this Banshee, and we do not want him to take this Banshee because we need it to be able to get outside of the map. That way we can get to the spire. That way we can turn off the second beam tower without any real problems. Now, once you get up to this point, you're going to fly straight on down, making sure that we get out of the map. Once you get down to where you cannot see your Banshee anymore, you're going to fly directly upwards. And then this will mean you have gotten out of the map. And then you're going to fly, again, directly upwards, ignoring the Banshee that is shooting behind you. And then you're going to continuously just keep flying up. And then once you get up, you're going to fly back on down, and you're going to want to look for the kind of like the geometry that the beam tower is in. I accidentally mistook that loading zone as meaning that I can turn off this beam pylon. Unfortunately, you have to look for a checkpoint done here on the bottom left. I will show it to you in a few moments. But I was wondering why it wasn't showing up, and then I realized, like, oh, wait a minute, checkpoint done. And then it will allow me to do it. So as you see, checkpoint done, and then I'm able to turn off the second beam array. Alright, again, that was the second skip. There was a lot going on, but now it's going to be nice and chill. Like, and I know what you're thinking. We still have a ton of enemies between us and the Didact. What do you mean? What do you mean, dude? I will show you what I mean in a few moments when we go on through the portal. Alright, we got one more portal to get through, so let's get it done. So, Making sure that we have all the ammo that we need before we move on as well. Making sure that we have our light rifle ready. We're going to be looking for this phantom that's going to spawn on in directly in front of us, right over the cryptum. Making sure that we are aware of the jackal marksman that's going to spawn here on the left-hand side. He is our primary target. And then after that, you're going to mop up the 4 grunts that also drop from that phantom. Once you take out all the grunts, all the enemies, you're going to take the left path. You do not want to take the right path. You will take the left path. Opening the door. And then we are just going to run. You do not want to fight anybody, because once you shoot one shot, all the enemies in the area will aggro on you. So here's the thing. All the enemies are so distracted fighting one another that you can just run on through everybody. Notice how I only took a quarter of my shield as damage. You just keep running. Now, the second area is a little bit tougher because there's going to be fuel rod cannons. There's going to be binary rifles. But the same thing applies. Just hug the right side. Keep on running. I took right about 80%. My shields are down, but I still was able to get on through simply because I noticed the enemy that was aggroed to me, and it was that Promethean Knight that had the binary rifle. Before we move on, if you have no shields, you will want to make sure that you have your shields fully charged up before you move on. Now, we're going to not run up all the way around. We're just going to be taking a nice little detour, which is going to be a run and jump up to this area right here. That way we can bypass that turret as well as this Promethean Knight here on the left-hand side with that binary rifle. And then it's a straight shot to basically get to the communicator. So we have a cutscene now, and I will see you guys on the other side.
Infinity, this is Sierra 117 of the UNSC Forerunner to Dawn. Do you copy? Infinity, do you read?
Chief, let go of the contacts.
Find us an exit.
Don't wait around on my account.
So fades the great harvest of my betrayal. Even these beasts recognize what you were oblivious to, human. Your nobility has blinded you, as ever. The librarian left little to chance, didn't she? Turning my own guardians, my own world, against me. But what hubris to believe she could protect her pets from me forever. If you haven't mastered even these primitives, then man has not attained the mantle. Their ascendance may yet be prevented. Time was your ally, human. But now it has abandoned you. The Forerunners have returned. This tomb is now yours.
Slipspace rupture! Chief, move! Chief, please. We've gotta go. That Didact, he manipulated Infinity's signal to get us to release him. Get up!
What's happening?
Moving the satellite. Destabilize the core. The Didact's leaving.
Alright guys, now that we're in the easiest stretch of the mission, it would be a shame to die at this point, so let's get right on into it by hopping into one of these ghosts. And basically the trick to all this entire stretch, the next like 2-minute stretch of this video, or of this mission in general, is really just to stay in the center. You do not want to deviate from the center of the like the pathing that we're taking right here. As you see here, I'm kind of just staying in the center. You do not want to deviate from that path. If you have to deviate from it, which means there's an obstacle in your way or something's just like in your way or whatever, like whatever it may be, if you have to deviate from it, you always want to stay in the center of that as well, because if you don't, you run the risk of basically running into a obstacle, or you're going to basically get killed by something that you shouldn't, and it just really does suck because you've made it all the way to this point, and it would be tragic to die in such a way, especially after going through all of basically the entire mission and getting to this point, and again, it would just suck. But again, given the fact that, let's just say that you make it through the rest of this, again, as you see here, I am just staying in the center. There's not really a lot more to do other than just kind of follow the path that I'm taking. So I'm just going to start out by closing out this video. I do want to say thank you guys for watching. If you did find this video helpful, please leave a like down below. I do advocate that you guys also subscribe if you found this content helpful. If you would like to subscribe, please do that as well. Also, if you do subscribe, hit that little bell icon. It will let you know whenever I post something new on the channel. And I do plan on posting new videos fairly often. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about this guide, I know that we went through a lot in this video. So feel free to leave a question in the comment section below, or if you have anything you want to say as well. The comment section I always am very, very attentive to, so please feel free to leave a comment down below as well. Last but not least, feel free to share these videos to any of your friends having difficulty with the Halo series. And with that being said, I will see you guys next time for Infinity. Thank you guys for watching.
Whoa, cowboy! Chief, there!
Captain of the UNSC Infinity. Unknown entity has seized control of our ship. We're without power. We're on a collision course with an unidentified Forerunner planet.
Track its descent.
Marking. Impact predicted 77.8 kilometers due north. You know where he's heading.
Same place we are.